family, and welcome to the GTL Season 2, the Green Tea League Season 2. We are here with the official document, with everything. I will go over the rules, the standings, everything for the season, the teams, the coaches, or the team's leader, or the team leaders, I should say. Yeah. Anyway, gotta have tea everywhere, right? It's the Green Tea League, and I will go, of course, over my team and the plan for this season, how we're gonna try to tackle this league, and how we're gonna try to win, obviously. And not revealing all my strategies, because I know a bunch of my opponents might actually be watching this afterwards, but we'll go over this. And obviously, as you can see on the bottom there, you should be able to see my mouse. If you go here, you can see that there is indeed a prize for the season. Of course, that's on me unless I win. My prize, if I win, is I don't have to spend 10 bucks. Or a bit more, because I'm Canadian. So that 10 USD is like 13 CAD. But the prize for the season is a $10 gift card online for David's Tea, or any other equivalent of like a tea producer where the person lives. Of course, most people are from Canada and the US, or everybody's from the US except me. And like somebody else in like UK. So, you know, David's Tea is like all in North America, so that really works out well, except for if that person in the UK wins. If so, we're gonna find another alternative. But tea, I think, is a wonderful prize for the GTL, so that's what we'll go for. Anyway, let's get into the rules now. The general and the battles. Of course, I separated that two ways. If you go back to Season 1, the document was a little bit more messy. This is a lot cleaner this time. A lot more time went into this. So, first of all, the upload of the match must be done within a week after battling. The penalties are there as well, so it makes it easier for me to just slap penalties onto people and myself if I don't respect anything. At least it's written, so, you know, it can't be contested. It's so much easier that way, and it makes the league a lot more fun and less unpredictable, let's say. So people will be uploading the matches, so you'll be able to go to all the different channels and actually see what they're doing, see how they fared in the battle. Maybe it's just going to be a replay, maybe it's going to be a live reaction to the battle, anything, right? But you can see all the battles on the different channels, at least you should be able to, because that's one of the rules. The matches will be done privately, so of course you can't just join in the battle as it's going. It also prevents ghosting and a lot of other things, or not just ghosting, but random people saying things that might affect people's train of thoughts, and it's just, battles are private. It makes things easier, and obviously the replays will be posted publicly in the chat for those people, so that, you know, they can study and stuff. Endless clause is the only clause, so you can put all Pokemon to sleep, you can put everything to sleep, you can do all the shenanigans, evasion is okay, everything is fine, unless the battle's endless. So again, the GTL strives on being weird and quirky and all that. So, you know, you might see some opponents being on Skype calls, you know, together as well. That is allowed, so you might see that. While ghosting is not allowed, that is kind of allowed, which is a kind of, I don't know, maybe contradictory to that, but it works, it's funny. The coaches will draft Pokemon by tier, so we all have one Uber, 3 OUs, 3 UUs, and 3 RUs. We don't have any NUs. We're supposed to have 1 and 2 RUs, but NU isn't really a thing right now in Sun and Moon, so we kind of just bunched everything together. And I think it works well, because if you look at the teams, they look a lot more powerful. We have a lot less crappy Pokemon compared to last season, and it means the trades every week are also going to be better. So basically, all logos are drawn in paint. Again, no team can have more than 1 Mega Pokemon. That's obviously, you know, it makes sense. It's just technical things. Mega Evolving on the first turn is not required, and bring a Mega Stone on a drafted Mega is not required, so you might see some people not Mega Evolving in the first turn, you know, pulling some strategies with that later in the game, Mega Evolving, changing the Pokemon completely. That is allowed. And one of the biggest rules in the GTL, the winner of each match must trade one of his Pokemon with the loser from the same tier, chosen by the winner right here, guys. You heard it here first. Folks, when you win a battle, you force trade with your opponent, and you can steal one of their Pokemon, or bestow upon them one of your awful Pokemon, or anything like that. It all works, you do whatever you want. Team names must include T in their names, and Pokemon must include T in their names, because this is the Green Tea League, right? Every match, one Pokemon per team must either hold a male, have only 3 moves, or have no IVs on top of the Uber rule. So, just like in the last season, the handicaps did not change. You might see some Pokemon having male. And the reason for male is because in the beginning, it was like, okay, let's remove the use of an item. But then you can clearly see on Showdown which Pokemon doesn't have an item, so with having male, it counters that, and it also provides not the knockoff boost and other things like that. I think you also cannot trick, so it just creates a counter to those strategies, which means that the male might actually be useful, which did happen a few times last season. Might only have 3 moves, or have no IVs, you know, a bunch of handicaps to make things more interesting. Duplicate items are banned, so you're not going to see 2 leftovers or 3 leftovers, or maybe you will, but there will be penalized for it. So, you know, it makes it a lot more unique. Every Pokemon has a different purpose. Uber Pokemon must have 2 handicaps chosen from the handicap rule option, so we are allowing Ubers, as I said earlier, this season, which does mean that they will be slightly overpowered. Now, with the 2 handicaps, and it was thoroughly researched, but we believe, I hit the mic, but I don't care, that it's gonna balance them out. It's gonna make things good, and they should be, you know, good, but not too OP. And with 2 handicaps, it means that if you can figure out the handicap that they don't have, you already know the 2 handicaps that they do have, you can play around it. Xerneas, okay, figured out it doesn't actually have an item, that's perfect, so it doesn't hold the Power Herb. So it has, you know, other things, or, oh boy, look at that, it has the Power Herb, so it has no IVs, it only has 3 moves. Stuff like that, you can play around and it makes things more interesting. Now, I think the last rule, Pokemon must be legitimate, obviously. So that's it for the rules. As I said, prize, there you go. This is the fixtures, so basically, if I go to the Blasty Blaziken, it's easier for me to look at that way. We are going against the Ben, Night Spear, and the Heaty Bloods first week. Then second week, Windtear, Weavile, and Darth Droid 1. Week 3, Steel City, Salamence, with obviously Legna K, an amazing battler, quirky things every time. Now, obviously, week 4 is kind of a sucky week for us, because we are going against Tommy the Shuckhax, and he has a full team of legends right now, besides the Mega Gyarados. I don't know how he drafted that, but okay. The Victoria Victinis, as if it's not gonna be, you know, as if it's not gonna get better, we'll face C.Mea afterwards, and we'll end with the T-State Tyranitars, which, no, actually, that's week 6, which is Ceradmist. And then week 7, obviously, the Minnesota Team Mineors with Aaron 2420, or Aaron 2420. So let's go over to my team now. I was very, very happy with my draft. I did not get sniped throughout the whole draft. I got exactly what I wanted, basically when I wanted it. It was amazing. Now the funny thing is that I thought when I was drafting, and I know that's a common misconception, but for me to actually forget, I didn't actually play Pokemon for a whole year, basically, because of university, so it kind of makes sense, but I got back into this Lugia there. I thought it was going to be water flying, so I drafted that. Bulky water type, that was the goal. Of course, it is tremendously bulky. It's definitely an amazing pick, and it's going to help, you know, cope with the other Ubers. And what I like about Lugia is that any handicap doesn't really impede on its ability to do whatever it can do, or obviously it has a lot of options, but like, it's not really predictable. Like, Xerneas relies heavily on the Power Herb, Genesect relies heavily on a Choice Scarf most of the time. Of course, they might choose different items, but on a standard basis, Smogon, that's kind of what they run, which means that, you know, if they want to run that, you know what other handicaps they have. Now, Lugia is a lot more unpredictable in that matter, and that's what I like about it. So, it is actually, well, Flying Psychic. Duh, I forgot. So, had I known that, I don't think I would have drafted Lugia. Of course, I was able to play around it later in the draft, but I did get Mega Metagross afterwards, which right now is banned in Sun and Moon OU to Uber. But when I drafted, it wasn't, so we started here, we went like that, snake style, so, you know, misdrafted Megazone, and I was able to get Mega Metagross, so I went with Mega Metagross. Of course, you know I like my Mega Metagross. It's amazing, and now that it's banned, it's like my last time I'll ever be able to get Mega Metagross. So I'm happy, because Megas were banned on the Uber tier. So Mega Metagross, you know what it can do. You know what it can do. It's amazing. It also got boosted a bit, you know? First turn now it uses its Mega Speed, so first turn on base 110 speed, which means that I'm pretty darn good. So that's Mega Metagross in a nutshell. Really, really good. I'm happy with that. Then I drafted Heatran. You know, later in the draft, I was looking at options, and honestly, again, I didn't really get sniped. Heatran. Reason why Heatran? Fire. It's Flash Fire. It's amazing. Flash Fire covers for that awesome fire weakness. It's also another steel type, and with Lugia being flying in the ground is all, you know, it's compensates. So it's a good Pokemon, and it's a really, really good Fairy Slayer. Then later, right afterwards in the draft, I went with Latios because the power for Latios, amazing. All those, you know, it's nice to have a powerful and offensive, fast Dragon type, another base 110. Also Psychic, so really, really strong typing, and right after is when I realized that I had drafted 3 out of 4 being Psychic type, so that was bad. I realized that I kind of half messed up, so I needed to change things. I needed to have things to, like, counter for my evident Ghost and Dark weakness. So, to take care of the Dark, at least, you know, I was able to magically, and I had to wait till all these guys drafted, but I was able to get Clefable round 1, which I know not too many people actually enjoy using. I think Clefable is amazing. In League format, Clefable is ridiculous. You've seen me use Clefable last season. Oh boy, man, Clefable's too good sometimes. And the amount of things I can do with Clefable, the amount of sets I can use, the amount of stupidities I can pull off with Clefable, I love Clefable. It's amazing. It breaks all of the clauses if I need to. It's amazing. Clefable's good. Clefable's good. So I got Clefable. It's really, really strong Fairy type, so I'm happy that was my Fairy type. It also means that I cover for the weakness when it comes to dragons, so that's amazing. Right after I was able to get Crocodile, and the reason why I got Crocodile was because Intimidate is always good. Also, well, Dark Ground is a really solid typing, and Ground kind of covers for the electric, the evident 4 times weakness to electric that I had on Lugia. Obviously I don't have, but it does cover for that 2 times weakness. But at that time, I think I still thought that I had, you know, the 4 times weakness. The Dark type, you know, is there for obviously for the Dark and Ghost to, like, maybe trap them, or trap the Psychic types, trap the Ghost types, but just provide, you know, a good counter to that. And Crocodile can be really strong. Banded, Scarf, there's a lot of options to MOCs, the Intimidate. You can run it many ways. I like to have my Mons with the option of being either offensive or defensive, and Crocodile really does bring just that, which is amazing. Of course, afterwards I had to wait, and I didn't actually get sniped. But I got Suicune as well, because now I realized that I needed that bulky water type, so I went for that. I got the bulky water type. Suicune, you know I like my Suicune. I like my Suicune, I like my Clefable, I like my Mega Metagross. This draft looks a lot like other drafts I've done before. It's better, though. It's better. It does provide me with even better options, but the Suicune was really nice. I was happy with that. Suicune is a really strong Pokemon. It's really good defensively, not the best offensively, but you can sweep with Suicune. You know, you gotta be careful what you want to run when you want to run it. But you definitely have a lot of options. And obviously there's Jolteon here that I got right after. I was really happy to be one of the first people to draft in RU. You may wonder why I haven't drafted any Gen 7 Pokemon. I legit just got back into the metagame. I do not know how to use those Pokemon. I don't know anything about them. I guess I'll learn a bit with the league, but I really have no background on these Pokemon. I don't know how to use them. I don't know what they do. I don't know some of their moves. I don't know some of their abilities. I don't know anything. So, I just know that Jolteon is always like first pick in RU because it's that good. And for the first time in a league, I think I was actually able to get 8 fast electric type, you always want your strong fire type, your bulky water type, and your, you know, fast electric type. Those are really good staples in your, like, you know, just overall really nice steel type. And obviously fairy and everything else. But the fast electric type notion, I'm happy. I went with that this draft. I went with that. I got the Jolteon. It's base 130. It makes the opponent's speed creep like crazy. It's bad for them. It ruins their bulk. It puts pressure on the draft right before, or on the teams right before we go in the match, because they have to play around the speed, and that's good. It might bring out some more Scarfs, because I do have a relatively fast team. You know, base 110 with Metagross and Latios, and Crocodile being 92, and Jolteon being 130, and Virizion being 108. I have a lot of speed, and Suicune obviously being 85, and Etrian being 85 or something too. I think something like that. Anyway, the Jolteon, they're really good for the draft. Then the last two I was really unsure what I wanted. Shaman got drafted, which I was gonna go for, but I knew. Oh, obviously Tommy likes a Shaman. Yeah, I wasn't planning on getting Shaman, but I would have gone for Shaman had Shaman still been there. So, you know, the draft goes on, and Shazam, it's my turn again. And I look at all the Grass-type options and the Fighting-type options, because I kind of want both, and I don't have too much space in my draft, but I find Chestnut, which is really cool, and then I look through the whole tier again, and I find Virizion! And obviously I'm texting Adam and, you know, Sakura, his shiny Virizion that he got and all that, while not even shiny hunting. So, of course I had to go with the Virizion. It's amazing, it's fast, it's defensive, it's offensive, it can run, you know, so many sets, it's amazing. So got the Virizion, and right after it was my turn again, and finally I looked through all the options. There was Cresselia there that I could have gotten, but I already have a bulky psychic type, which is Lugia. I already have a bulky thing, which is Suicune. I went with Porygon too, which is again more defense on the team, but it does free a spot. You know, Eviolite's always good on that. So sometimes if you don't know what to bring, oh, these defensive Pokemon, they all want the leftovers. Well, this guy might not want the leftovers. He wants the Eviolite instead, maybe. So you can go for that. Does free up the duplicate claws. Things like that. So Porygon 2 is just really good, and it's annoying. It really is. It's really annoying. I like the option of having Unaware here with Clefable. I like having the option to be defensive with Porygon 2. I like the option of being defensive with my offensive Pokemon. I like the offense, and I like the defense, and I like all the options that I get with this draft. It's a really good team, and I'm happy. I think, I don't want to boast too much here, but I do think I have one of the best drafts here. Tommy's draft is very imposing. It doesn't have as much synergy. It's just him being, you know, him being Tommy and drafting all legends because my team has all base stats over 600, you know? He likes that. People to watch out for, I don't know. I'm actually not sure how Darth and Admist are battling too much. I haven't had much experience with them. I know we're facing Ben week 1. Ben is always a good Greninja. Funny thing about Greninja, you can run the Ash Greninja, you can run the Protean, the Battle Bond, anything, but you do have to specify every week because Greninja's kind of too strong. But if you like, any Greninja on its own isn't too bad. So if you specify, that was the rule. So he'll be bringing Protean Greninja, if he does bring Greninja, So, you know, that's my opponent. I think that's a strong, you know, that's a strong opponent. You know, definitely something to watch out for. I think Aaron has a really, really good draft. Aaron is definitely someone to watch out for a lot as well. I'd say Legnicke. I don't know about Legnicke. Legnicke's good. I'm not feeling overly threatened by his draft, but that might just be me looking at it really quickly. You know, Tommy is imposing as a battler and his team. Tommy is going to be very difficult. Xiaomi does have a really, really versatile draft, and the reason why he has Munchlax is because he actually drafted that before everybody else in RU by mistake, so he kind of didn't snipe, but kind of screwed the whole draft. So his handicap for week 1 is to bring a Munchlax instead of a Snorlax if he does bring it. So he has a Snorlax, just saying. We did get some very OP Pokemon such as Wooper and Poliwag getting drafted, you know. They wanted their bulky water types, they got that. So, you know, that's it. I think Shami, Tommy, Aaron, and Ben are like the top 4 I should watch out for. I am gonna try to make playoffs, obviously. I've never not made playoffs, and kind of don't want to start that this season, so we'll keep that up, and obviously I'll keep you updated with more next week, same time. Wednesday will be your first match against Ben. The live battle, everything. I will have face cam, so that's gonna be amazing, but that'll be up, that'll be amazing, and you guys will see all the wonders of the GTL again. GTL Season 2, even crazier than GTL Season 1, the layout's better, everything's better. It's gonna be a fun time. I've talked so fast and so much this video, it is ridiculous. It is time for me to end this. I don't know why I'm that hyper. I actually have not recorded a video in a long time, that's why. I've done a lot of animations and stuff like that, but not an actual just sit-down video, so I guess I'm just overly hyped, and I just want to make sure the quality of my content is better now, so you might see some improvements with the commentary as well. So, that's the end of the video, I think. Look at all the teams there. There's not much. This is the schedule. Schedule is there, teams are there. You can look at the draft out link down below, so you can take a look at it, see all the things. You obviously can't edit it, but you can take a look at it, which is going to be amazing. So, hit the like button below if you enjoyed the video, and remember, all of the Me family, comments, it's always appreciated. It's been too long, hasn't it? C.MeaX if you haven't already. I'll see you next time, and as always, Diana.